If you're looking at the progress bar of this video right now, wondering how much is left before the bit that answers a specific question that you want happens, stop right there. That little dopamine hit that you're looking for, that impatience that you have right now, is the real reason why you are still stuck in the poverty trap and why I escaped it. And in this video, I am going to be taking you step by step through the exact processes that you need to adopt in order to stop being completely controlled by the very thing that you hate, the system's poverty trap. So many of you know this channel because of the injustice that I went through, the injustice that was served upon me, the bullying and the harassment in a 5-year-long legal court battle that I took upon my then employer in order to have my rights ascertained as a disabled person in the workplace. That level of injustice runs through the vein of so many people that have struggled against so many things in life just to get through each and every day. And I know so many of you feel exactly the same about that entity. Many of you still feel trapped. I was trapped. I was trapped by the conditions of an employer put upon me, made to jump through hoops and hoops and hoops in the legal system to have my rights vindicated. And all the time that employer was playing a very careful strategy of money, thinking that I would eventually run out of money in the legal battle, which is why, number one, I chose to represent myself. But number two, that was the first part in me escaping the poverty trap. Now, if you're that person in my comments going, hurry up, get to the point, but then you only spend 5 minutes watching the video, that's the reason why you're still trapped, because then you're going to go and spend another 5 minutes in the comments asking everybody else, when really you could have just opened your ears, closed your mouth, left your fingers where they are and listened. Today, we're going to fix your concentration and we're going to fix the issue that surrounds your bank account. Put bluntly, if you cannot survive a 10-minute video on YouTube, you will never survive what it takes to escape the poverty trap. Now, if you're not quite yet ready, or you think you're not quite yet ready to escape the poverty trap, stick with me until the end of this video. Because the how-to is at the end, but the why, that starts right now. If you feel that your life is a never-ending battle, that it is a consistent survival test, you are living day to day, where really true wealth feels like a club that nobody invited you to, then I hope that this video is going to be the turning point for you. And I can tell from the hundreds of thousands of people that have watched my videos in just a few months and over 1 million views just last month alone, that so many of you want to do it. And actually, it's probably simpler than you think. You're probably the one making it harder. I know it's a harsh truth, but I'm going to tell you why. Breaking free from the real poverty trap as you and I know it in the UK isn't a question of luck. It isn't a question of having rich parents, and it isn't really a question of having the right opportunities laid before you. And it's definitely not waiting for the perfect time to come along. The real riches are built in the niches of struggle. And when that happens to you, one thing extra happens to your brain. You develop a radical mindset, because that then becomes your survival guide. Now, this shift is the same one that so many people that have made extreme amounts of money, let alone people that have gone from zero, nothing at all, to building a more prosperous life for themselves, financially, spiritually, and in lots of other ways, they have undergone this change. Now, before we dive in, you have to understand this. Poverty is more than just a lack of money. It's a system of habits, thinking habits, and emotional reactions to actions that keep you enchained. Specifically designed, in fact, to keep you felt trapped. And lots of you are trapped. It's a chain reaction. Financial pressures become mental pressures. Mental pressures become mental stress. Mental stress creates an entire toll of emotional reactions. And for most, those emotional reactions lead you into a complete spiral of decisions that keep you stuck in the very cycle that you want to break out of. However, the real strength is in your mindset. And when you change your mindset, a low income is not a prison, it's a seed. And it can be, and it is for most of you, the foundation of your future wealth. You just haven't realised that yet. So let's talk about the battle, the internal versus the external battle. Now, so many of you who are stuck on benefits have become obsessed with the income floor, the cost of living, what you need to have in order to live. Now, whilst that is in part important, it's also a distraction, because by becoming so obsessed about it, you think that that is the only thing you have to overcome. You think that is the only fight you have. And for most people, they give up then, because they tot up going, in order to replace all of my benefits, I'm going to have to earn £60,000 a year. Am I right? But actually, the first fight is not about earning more money. It's about defeating the belief that you think that this, what you have now, is all you will ever have. Now, there is going to be no golden benefit hello. There is going to be no wealth advice and no budgeting strategy that is going to save you from that. That is literally a war happening within your own brain, and you need to stop that by acquiring a totally different mindset. If your brain does not believe that it is possible for you to overcome the situation that you are in right now, it will continuously trick you into believing that is all that you have. That's how the brain works. It is programmed by what you think. So I want to break down the 3 lies of poverty. And I've been on universal credit. I have been a single parent. I've been a widow with bringing up kids on a very low income. I've been in a car crash and survived it. I have lots of disabilities. For many of you, I have been in worse situations than you consider yourself to being right now. I am just being selective about what I tell everyone, because not everybody needs to know my backstory. Now, I call this the poverty mindset, and in actual fact, it is built on 3 major disbeliefs. And those disbeliefs are very limiting. Number 1, destiny. The common myth, and it is a lie, that your current income literally determines your entire future. Know this, nothing in life is the same. Everything is fluid. The second we just had is now different from the one we're in right now and the one that comes after that. Everything is a moving process. Number 2, scarcity. This obsession with so many people, and it's also a lie, that opportunities are only for other people. People that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. People that had a leg up because they had rich parents. People that were in the right place at the right time. None of that's true. And the third one, defeatism. I am literally someone that refused to be defeated on so many things, which is the reason why I single-handedly self-represented against that large entity and was successful in 2 massive parts of my claim. The lie that we often tell ourselves is that the battle that we are fighting is so much bigger than us that it's impossible to change. Why do you think I named this whole channel and my membership and everything I do the Justice journals. What do we do when we journal? We are literally recording parts of our life every single day. We are writing it down, or we are recording it some way, even just thinking about it inside our brains. Now, these beliefs, they convince you to stay locked in the struggle and to accept the limitations as your destiny. And in a sense, I think the benefit system in the UK is quite cruel because it definitely supports that notion. It's a psychological hold that it has on most people. So let's balance that up against the wealthy truth. And these are truths. Self-made entrepreneurs, successful business owners, creators that have successfully monetized are free individuals that understand a completely different reality. And if you have not seen this video here, where I talk about a 68-year-old cowboy right here that has over 3.5 million followers on YouTube and has created an entire £1 million business all online by simply baking outside in a field as a cowboy, then don't reinvent the wheel. Don't make things more complicated than they already are. Don't look for that job that's going to pay you £60,000. There are so many other ways of you escaping the poverty trap. You're just looking in the wrong places because you have become conditioned by a system that is not there to support you. It's there simply to help you exist. Now, I can say 5 years on, I am completely independent of the UK system. I actually don't need the UK system. That system needs me. Now, we all say that we want to be free, but actually we've been conditioned to stay as we are. And some of you have been trained just to be lazy. It's easy to be lazy. It's also easy to give up. And quite frankly, it's easier to be a victim than it is a victor. When I think back 5 years ago, I had everything stacked against me. My husband had died. I had a very bad health condition. I knew the situation that I was in at work. I was consistently being baited to react, which I didn't do. And after working a full day, I then had to spend about 6 to 8 hours preparing a very serious legal offence. That wasn't just one day. That was every day. Every single day for 2 years that went on. And then when I was no longer working for that employer, I started focusing on my income along with representing myself, continuing to represent myself as I did. There, I could not be lazy. I could not give up, and I could not play the victim. When you play the victim inside your own head, inside your own brain, you've lost the battle. You've already lost the battle. Now, let's get real. The benefit system in the UK is the poverty trap. I mean, why is it called universal credit? Because the minute you sign up for universal credit, you're going to be living on some sort of a credit card if you have one. There is no way anybody can exist more than 1 month on universal credit without having some kind of financial problem. And it was designed specifically for that. It was designed to be a little stopgap between one job and another. That's it. It's designed to, in a sense, keep you semi-comfortable, just enough so that you don't revolt, enough so you can feed yourself, just give you what you need, but poor enough that you can't escape. It's almost like crack to a crack addict. It keeps you in a cycle, like an addiction cycle, really. It's pretty awful. Now, for many of you, your disability in that cycle has become your shield. And I know that because at a certain time, my disability definitely was my shield as well. And for many of us, we use our disability as a shield to protect us from the things in life that we can't cope with, the things that we know we can't fight up against, the risk of failure, and to release you from the effort of actually having to try. But you see, actually, That is not a shield, that's a cage. Now, we've all been conditioned to think that safety is the goal. But actually, if you're on benefits, safety is stagnation. It's a swamp. You're not going to go anywhere up that river. You're just going to rot where you are. For most people, you're waiting for a paycheck that somebody else controls. You're living on limited permission, literally. And I also get that leaving that safety, because for most people it is all they've known, is the hardest decision you'll ever make. Because you have to trade the certainty of a very low income for the possibility of a higher one. And what happens if that doesn't work out? Now, for most people, they are far too lazy to try and make that trade because the system has drained your ambition, quite simply. But you have to ask yourself, are you just most people, and are you happy just by being that person? Now, 5 years ago, I wasn't a CEO. In fact, my wage every single month from DWP was £1,700 a month. That's what I used to take home. I know lots of people on benefits get way more than that because I've seen a lot of benefit statements. I spent 5 years in a dual process in a system that I just knew I had to escape. In some ways, I felt that I was trapped in a system of complete treason and treachery, literally. The irony of that was who my employer was. But in that 5-year process, I saw how the ink on lots of pages, on lots of documents, can define the future that they want you to have if you allow it. If you put yourself in that circumstance. Now, for me, yes, I did put my own head on the chopping block because I was accused of something that I did not do. I was accused, as we all know, of looking at systems when they said I did not have business need to do so because I was on a lunch break or because my day finished early or my day started early. They were literally playing between the lines. The fact is, within the role of my job, I had full access to, at that time, an awful lot of systems and universal credit claims anyway, nationwide access. But that ink on that paper can, for most people, define you. In that process, I was being told what I could do, what I couldn't do, what things I could say, couldn't say in court, what my limits were. But I will say, 5 years later, the tables have turned. The people that try to set me up, in my humble opinion, and that is what I believe, they're still enchained by that system. They're still earning their crappy little £1,700 a month. They're still having to get up every day at 6 o'clock and go and work in a completely useless system that serves pretty much no one, including themselves. That's why so many people in that establishment are so miserable. And I think every single person that has anything to do with that system really feels that because of the way that you're treated. I generate all of my own income now. I don't actually need a job. I probably wouldn't want to work for anyone ever again. I have serious PTSD from that whole experience. And the only income I'm ever interested in is the income that I generate myself. Because when I do that, I have complete control over everything, every single thing and every single choice in my life. And when you have that, that puts you into a very powerful position because you no longer need PIP. You no longer need any benefits. You no longer need to pay rent in the UK. You can live anywhere in the world that you choose. Now, for the people that want me to be so fast in my videos, I did not get to where I am right now in my mind and in my business and in my income plan by hurrying up, by trying to find the quick win, by buying a cheap £400 course and hoping that it's going to help me revolutionize my life. What I did do was I transferred the stress in a sense that I already had, And I tried to put an exchange rate on that stress. Instead of being stressed by the situation of looking for a job or doing something like that, I put the stress on the creation of income. Which one are you going to choose today? You can spend years applying for jobs. Years. I've seen my own son do it before he got the job he's got. He's got all of his qualifications. He's a young person. I've seen people in the job centre do it that have got more qualifications, degrees and experience coming out of every orifice of their body. They still can't get a job. And I think that's because the UK job market, because of all the situations in tax and fiscal issues in the UK, are such a problem that most employers want cheap, replaceable employees. They don't want people with skills and experience. That costs them too much money to pay. And secondly, they can't insult their integrity and treat them like they're stupid, because clearly they've got all that experience and qualifications. They're not. Now, we're probably just over halfway through, so congratulations if you're still here. You're probably doing better than 60% of the people that clicked on this video and did not get the golden Willy Wonka ticket to Neverland. Now, poverty, for the most part, isn't a lack of process, it's a lack of focus. When you're constantly living in survival, you look for instant relief. That's why TikTok's so successful. People want that dopamine hit. But that's not how real wealth is built. Wealth is built in the long run. Wealth is built in deep patience. To escape the poverty trap, really, you have to retrain your brain to handle complexity, but you don't have to do it all at once. Let's break it down. You have to sit with a plan. To start with, if it's health, tackle that first. If health is your issue, start with my health journal. Start forming the habit of tracking your health every day. No one is going to see this unless you show it to them. So I don't want to sound like DWP by saying, we're going to focus on the things you can do. But in this health planner for you, focus on the things that you can do as well as the things that you can't do. Find the right balance for you. You see, the system has made you rely so much on your disability that, in a sense, most people have conditioned themselves to never getting better because of the way the system has formulated that. But if that's you, do you not ever want to own your own house? Do you not ever want to have a property abroad? Do you not ever just want to go out and buy your own car cash or your own phone cash? Do you not want to leave money for your kids so they have a little bit of a start in something, a project, a house, a newborn baby one day in their life? Do you not want to be that person when you eventually are on your dying deathbed that you say, yeah, okay, but I didn't give up and I've had a damn good life trying? And when I did that, I found those peaks of enjoyment and pleasure and gratitude along the way. Because that type of an outlook is going to make you a much more, you're just going to be a much more enjoyable person to live with yourself in your brain. Now, whilst we're here, I'm going to deal with a couple of the comments I've had about the insider membership. I had one recently, I think it was like 2 days ago, saying that that person thought it was really terrible of me charging £30 a month to help people, help themselves, basically, whether that be with PIP applications, whether that be with employment tribunals, whether that be starting a business, whether that be with certain issues surrounding benefits. Now, is that, first of all, a lot of money? Let's look at the facts. Number one, not everybody that is inside my membership is on benefits. And this is a typical benefit-minded person that often thinks like this, that only they're the only one in the world and only their opinion of self matters. Actually, most of the people inside my membership are people that work, have businesses, or are working and or are in business, and they are also in an employment law battle with their employer. Some of my members are actual law graduates. So first of all, Insiders membership is not just for people on benefits, but I'm inclusive. If people want to change their life situation, I'm open to helping people. But the price is there as a filter, Because trust me, in my days of being in life and working at the job centre, there is a whole world out there that expects absolutely everything for free and expects every single person on the planet to give their time, energy, focus, and resources to them for free, whilst they put in pretty much zero effort. So the £30 is a filter, because I'm not going to waste my time with people who cannot be bothered to make the effort. And for those of you that think, oh, that's a bit harsh, in my actual business, people pay me thousands to coach them in their business, to fix the issues that they have, to help them generate lots of income from their business. Thousands. I'm paying back. Like the Justice Journals for me and the Insider membership is my way of kind of giving back just to people. I don't have to do it because I earn enough from my actual business, if you like, by not doing it. I don't have to do it. In fact, it costs me to run the Insiders membership. But I do believe in gratitude. I do believe in supporting people, and I do believe in giving back. But I also know where the line is. I have boundaries. Now, for those of you that are on benefits, every single month that you have to get your universal credit, what you're technically doing is you are paying a loyalty tax to DWP. Think of it like that. Because every month you are stuck in the same position. You are paying in stress, loss of dignity, pride, giving your bank statements, giving them the permission to look into your life. I kid you not, DWP's barrister was so peeved off when she looked at my bank statement, because I am not a stupid person. Just draw your money out. It's your money. You don't need permission to draw your money out and go and buy the things that you want to buy. Like that, there is a lot less data for them to look at. There is a lot less data for them to manipulate. There is a lot less data potentially for certain people to misuse. Now, within Insiders membership, one of the things you will get is education. This isn't about doing anything dodgy. It's about educating yourself. Preparation is a key for success. If you are on a low income and you want to start a business, I will show you the way to do it without risk, or with limiting the risks that could be open to you. If you have a health condition and you want to apply for PIP, or you want to challenge a decision because you feel that you haven't done it perhaps the best way you could, you felt unheard, you weren't aware of the things that you needed to do to evidence it, I will show you the way on how to do it. I created Justice Writer Pro for people that did not want to come to the monthly coaching inside of Insiders membership, where you can ask me direct questions. And my lawyer costs me £500 an hour, I might add. £500 an hour. And if I want a letter, it's going to be another £250 plus VAT. The Justice Writer Pro software that I created, that is completely trained in legal preparation and advocacy, right, is £10 a month. Right? So if you want to write your own letters, if you don't want to pay the £30 to join Insiders, what it is currently, use Justice Writer Pro. You get Justice Writer Pro for free anyway, inside Insiders. It's not a plus, it's included for free. But I tell you this, it's going to cost you a lot more to go to a solicitor. So you have to get out of this mindset that everyone is there to help you. There are people that are going to help you in life, but there's going to be a price. It's going to be your time, or their time, or money, or something. You're paying DWP with your dignity. If you want to escape that, there are plenty of ways to do so. And actually, over on my other channel, I do go into lots and lots of different ways in which people do escape the poverty trap with business. So before we wrap this up, let's get down to the real credentials. Start where you are. Simply start right now where you are. And I know a lot of you are going to be thinking, but Ali, I don't want to give everything up in case it doesn't work. Where am I going to be? I can't pay my rent. You don't have to. You don't have to give anything up. This is what so many people just don't understand. You do not have to give up Universal credit. You can start a business on universal credit. In fact, it's probably one of the safest ways to start a business. It's literally like having a bank overdraft that you don't even have to pay back. You can start a business on LCWRA. You can start a business on ESA. I've got loads of clients that have got started businesses on ESA and LCWRA and are now not on them. PIP is not means tested anyway. You can have £1 million in the bank and still have PIP if you really wanted to. Start educating yourself on your rights, which is what Insiders membership will start to do for you. It will tell you what you can do and what you can't do. It's not about defrauding anyone. It's about playing the game. If those are the rules, play by the rules. Those are the rules so you can do X, Y, Z. You have choices, but you're just shutting yourself down to having none. Why would you do that? Like, honestly, why would you do that? I mean, I'm recording this on the 18th of January, 2026. It is grey outside. In fact, it's been grey where I live for about 5 months. We've had a few days of blue sky and the rest of the time it's just been grey. In fact, my garden has turned into a freaking marshland. We've had that much rain and that little sun. I'm seriously considering if I even want to live in the UK anymore. I mean, I don't think I do want to live in the UK anymore. We are all a product of our own environment. My husband was French, so I am used to Europe. And I just think the UK is a very depressing country to live in. When you earn your income, particularly if you earn it all online, you can live anywhere in the world, anywhere. Now, my next video is going to be about starting a business on a low income. It's not necessarily for people on benefits, but I will include information for people who are on benefits. It is on a low income because every single business does cost some money to start up. These people that tell you it costs zero are lying. I will tell you that they are lying. Starting a business does cost money. You have to have business insurance. You need some kind of education, mentoring, coaching, whatever. Unless you want to do one of these digital marketing spammy things, but you're going to make no money. I know that because I've had customers that have bought these things and have come to me broke and gone, Ali, what do I do? So let's bring it home. How do you make the decision to actually leave the poverty trap? Stop using your disability as a shield. Use it as a form of self-empowerment instead. Self-audit your safe cage. For most of you, that's your current situation. Look at what the system is costing you emotionally. If the stress of the system for you is higher than the stress of personal growth and financial assets that you can create, you might want to evaluate that because it's probably time to move. 3, build your own engine. Start that business, write that book, buy that health planner. Like, heaven's sake, creating content couldn't be easier today. Pull out your phone and record. Write that blog. Manage your energy. Join our community over at Insiders. Now, for most of you, hopefully you've reached the end of the video. And for most of you, this video right now is probably going to be the longest time you focused on anything in months. That's a big wake-up call. But what you've actually done is you've spent time investing in your mindset. Instead of scrolling through nonsense that's going to do nothing for you, take you nowhere in life, and literally, waste your time. So consider today's video the first win of your day. Maybe the first win of your life change. Now, in all honesty, the exit from the poverty trap is already open. You just have to walk through it. You just have to decide how you're going to do that. I'm holding the door open for you, for anybody that wants to be in a better situation that they're in right now. I am here to help you. I am literally opening that door wide. but I can't and I won't make you walk through it. Now, if this video has resonated with you and you're like, yes, I just want to change my life. Everyone talks about 2026, a new year, new you, new da, but like, you got to do it, right? You've got to put the reps in. You've got to do the work. If you are ready, put change in the comments and I will know the type of video I need to do next. Have a great day.